Amazement Square is a children's museum for kids of all ages. It's a place where you can learn, discover, and play all day. Captain a boat down the James River. Paint on the wall. Explore and walk through the heart. Rock out on stage in a band. That's just some of the fun waiting for you at Amazement Square in downtown Lynchburg. Come and explore it yourself. It really is amazing.
Hello and welcome to Lynchburg Live. I'm your host, Linda Smith. Recently I attended a reception at Amazement Square. I'd already planned to do this show on Amazement Square, so it sort of gave me an excellent opportunity to do research for this show, plus having a really wonderful evening. The thing that struck me above and beyond anything else, even the fantastic exhibits, was the fact that everything, all the exhibits are educational. And they're presented in such a way that the children don't really realize that they're being taught something. So Amazement Square makes learning fun, and I think that that's, the most important thing that you all are conveying to the kids who come down there. My guests tonight are Ashley Carroll, Director of Marketing for Amazement Square, and Melissa Zadell, Vice President of Development. So glad to have you both.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
I did forget to say this show is the first part of a two-part series. All right. For members of our audience who do not know what Amazement Square is, who've only heard the name, please tell them what Amazement Square is.
Okay. Amazement Square is a children's museum. I feel like museum is probably not the right word to describe the kind of environment that we have. But it's a children's museum, and it is hands-on. We work with a hands-on philosophy where you learn by doing. And so it's the kind of place that you walk in, you hear a museum, and you think, please keep your hands in your pockets, don't touch anything. But we encourage the complete opposite. Please touch everything, smell, see, hear. Make sure you walk around and interact with the exhibits. And you're right, the children learn by doing without even realizing that they're learning. They're just having fun.
Yeah, it's such a fun environment. All right, now, Wright-Meyer Children's Museum, is that the same thing, or is Amazement Square in Wright-Meyer Museum? I was a little confused.
It's the same thing. Our full name is Amazement Square, the Wright-Meyer Children's Museum. Okay. And Mrs. Wright-Meyer was a generous donor who believed in our mission. Our mission is to educate children and families of all backgrounds, all abilities, all walks of life, regardless of ability to pay. And we're a 501c3 nonprofit. Right. So our mission is reaching all families in the community, regardless of ability to pay. And Mrs. Wright-Meyer was a very strong supporter of that and gave a lead gift to the project back when we opened in 2001. And so in honor of that support, we named the museum after her. But you'll most commonly hear it referred to as Amazement Square, yeah. Or we even say the Square sometimes.
So where are you located, just so anybody who sees this and might want to visit?
We're in downtown Lynchburg, right on the James River, so right on the riverfront and Riverfront Park area, most commonly known next to the Depot Grill. We're at the corner of 9th and Jefferson Streets, and we've really helped spur the downtown revitalization in the last 10 years. We opened in 2001, and since then, downtown has changed immensely. And we believe in downtown and our downtown neighbors, and really invite everyone to come back to downtown Lynchburg. It's really become quite a bustling place.
Now, what are your hours?
We are open Tuesday through Saturday, okay, from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 1 until 5. And on the second Saturday of every month, we have a family fun night, and so our admission is $3 or pay what you can, and that's part of how we fulfill our mission to reach all people of all backgrounds and abilities, is that family fun night, giving you a chance to come at a reduced admission. We stay open late that night as well, right, which is more convenient for different types of families as well.
And this encourages a full family involvement, not just leave your kids and go have a cup of coffee.
No, definitely, and that's something we talk about a lot is, what's the difference? You actually talked about the difference between a typical art museum where you put your hands in your pockets and look at the art. We also talk a lot about how we're different than maybe just a typical fun zone, fun place where the parents might drop the kids off and come later, or sit on benches and watch while their kids play. That's not our goal at all. Being a hands-on educational institution, we want families and caregivers and school groups to be learning and interacting together. We're very intergenerational. From the time you can walk up until senior citizens, grandparents, we want everyone up and moving together. And I don't know if you noticed when you were at our event, but you might not have found a place to sit down, and that's on purpose. We don't have many benches or comfortable seating because we don't want parents to just sit back and read a book. We want them to be in there interacting with their children. That's how the children learn, that's how the parents learn, and build those family bonds as they're learning. So that's something that's really differentiates us from typical recreation or fun places, is that educational mission.
I just thought it was so interesting to go from one exhibit to the next, and even if you have an attention problem, you're still going to stay entertained and focused because there's so many things to do.
Yes.
I just thought it was great. All right, back to you all personally. Ashley, tell me what your job is as Director of Marketing.
My job. What is
do you
not
do?
my job? No, I'm just kidding. Director of Marketing for Amazement Square. I handle the corporate sponsorship end of things and our relationship with our corporate partners. I also handle all of our marketing efforts, social media to advertising to just making sure the word is out in the community about the events that we have and the opportunities that are at the museum. And then I also handle all of our special events and fundraising efforts for those special events. So my job entails a lot. It keeps me really busy. So
I was going to say, you're just all over the place, aren't you?
Yeah, especially this time of year. It's very busy.
That you had told me that October was really your busiest month, and we'll get back to that in a second. But Melissa, tell me what your job as Vice President of Development, what do you do?
Sure. Really my focus is fundraising and raising funds for our educational mission. As I mentioned, we are a nonprofit. We're a 501c3, and so every year over half of our operating budget comes from contributions from individuals, from corporations, our special events, as well as grants and foundations. So really focused on helping getting those funds in to support our educational mission. The funds from a lot of our grants and supporters go to help children come who can't necessarily afford, to help school groups come, to make sure all schools can afford to come, and also to send our staff out into the community to people that for whatever reason can't come to us. So that's the primary area of my focus.
When did you say that this museum opened? 2000?
March of 2001.
2001?
Yep.
And was it opened as it is today, or was that the original
It has
plan?
quite a history.
Yeah, we opened in March of 2001. We have 4 floors, 10 exhibition galleries total. Some of those are on a permanent exhibition. Some of those we rotate every year or so. And so the museum, we've had some permanent exhibitions that have been relatively similar, although we make updates and changes on a regular basis. And then some of those exhibitions rotate out every year.
And even though you think of it as a children's museum, I do think that there's something there for everybody. I mean, I think the hands-on thing for kids is equally as good for adults.
Oh, absolutely. I think I like to tell people that there's something for every age.
Right.
There isn't necessarily, nothing for the parents to do. I love to see the dads get excited when they get to Voltageville or they get to raceways where they can race golf balls. I love to see the cross and intergenerational experience, the grandparents that are there with the children trying to keep up with the young ones. But we even offer, high school students can come in and we have scavenger hunts that they can do, and have worked with the local governor school for that program. And we work with volunteers on collegiate level and high school level and all the way up. So it's really definitely intergenerational. We definitely hit all kinds of age groups.
I was really impressed with the artwork.
Yeah.
Throughout the exhibits. I think if you don't want to focus on a boat floating down the river, just looking at that artwork, I think, is spectacular. So, I'm planning on bringing a group over there. My science fiction club, I think, would enjoy that.
I'm glad you noticed that. That was something that's important to us. Is almost everything in the museum was created in Central Virginia. A lot of the artwork was done by students, and if not, it was from either artists that were on staff or from the area, and so we're really proud of that.
The Indian exhibit, I thought, the faces on the Indians that are drawn on the wall are just perfect.
And that was created by a local mannequin who came in and did the exhibition.
All right, now hands-on for the kids. They get into everything, I'm sure. And we'll talk about some of the exhibits probably in our next segment. but do the kids just go in and see these wonderful things and immediately start playing with them, or?
It's really interesting because if you watch kids who come regularly, they definitely have a favorite exhibit.
I'm sure.
And they run directly to that exhibit. They bypass floors 1 through 3 to get to the James River exhibit or whatever exhibit that is of their choice. I have a 2-year-old, and the minute she comes in the door, she takes off for the Big Red Barn, which is our toddler area for ages 4 and under, and it takes everything I have to get her out of there. So I think it's really interesting to see them go and interact, and they remember and they know where the exhibit that they love is, and that memory keeps them coming back, and they learn. It's a repetition too. But I love to watch different people experience it. I loved giving a tour to a new person such as yourself
Right.
Just last week, and just hearing them say, wow, I can't believe this is in here. I can't believe you have a tower that goes through the center of this building. It's pretty amazing to show people. It's hard to explain verbally. It's definitely something you have to experience.
And we've got some pictures.
Yes.
You brought some pictures. So
We do.
Phil, if you'll put the pictures up on the screen, we'll get Ashley and Melissa to tell us what they are.
That is our building. That is the J.W. Wood building. It's on the National Register for Historic Places. It has been many things in its history, an infirmary for the Civil War.
Oh my.
It's been a wholesale grocery. And for many years it was unfortunately dilapidated and run down until the founders of the museum decided to give the building new life and make it Amazement Square, the Children's Museum. And as Ashley mentioned, we were one of the first organizations to come back to the downtown riverfront. And honestly, I think people thought that the founders were a little bit crazy to give it a try. There wasn't really anything else down here. And once the museum came and was successful, we really saw a lot of other new businesses, shops, restaurants follow. And now it's a really, really vibrant place.
That's our paint box. Again, it's one of these exhibits that's hard to explain, but it's every child's dream to paint on the walls. So it's actually a glassed-in box. Parents can stand on the outside away from the paint, and children are let loose with a smock to paint. That's our Bugs and Hisses Ball. That's an upcoming event. We're having a costume contest and science experiments that are all spooky related, and it'll be a good time for all. It's $5 per person, 6 to 8 p.m. on October 31st.
Now, is this the same thing as the bug
The ugly
ball?
bug ball?
The
Ugly Bug Ball is actually for adults 21 and
Okay.
over. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year, and which is the photo that you now see on the screen. That is the Ugly Bug Ball from last year. Each table has a theme that goes with our museum's year-long theme. This year we're celebrating fun and fit, and so the theme for the event is Let's Get Physical. So every table has a different physical fitness theme. It's a really good time. We have a band, a live auction, and a silent auction, but it is our biggest fundraiser of the year, and it usually sells out, so it's very popular.
Is it cocktail attire?
Cocktail attire or costume.
Or costume?
Yes,
Okay.
you'll see it all. That looks like it is from the Ugly Bug Ball. It looks like a bubble machine that we used, or it's maybe a facility rental. I think it's something in our warehouse.
And she looks like she has
She's
on a
having
Medusa.
a good time, yeah. That's why it could be the Ugly Bug Ball. This is our Gathering of Goddesses event. This is a really unique event for women only that we have every February. It's another one of our fundraising events that is for women 21 and over. It is a girls' night out in the museum. The whole museum is open for women. There is a catered dinner, and the highlight of the event is what you see here. We have service providers all over Central Virginia who come and actually donate their time and services for the women, and so it's a night out for dinner, dancing, drinks,
Wonderful.
and get a haircut, get a pedicure, manicure, massage, facial.
What's the admission?
The admission this year will be is a little undecided, up in the air. It has been, I think it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $80 a person.
And it's how long, from what time to what time?
It's on February the 22nd, and the event will start at 6 p.m.
This is one of my favorite events. This is
Yeah.
our Amazing Mile Children's Run, and this is actually from this year's event, which just happened at the end of September, and held in conjunction with the Virginia
what I was
10
gonna
Miler.
ask.
It is held on the same day as the Virginia 10 Miler packet pickup. Their packet pickup is held in our warehouse down by Amazement Square. And at the same time that is going on, we hosted 750 youth runners from walking up until age 13. We had 3 different races. And it's really, really to help show children that being physically fit, being active is fun. It's a fun race. We have lots of festival elements that are active surrounding the event, and it's so much fun to see the kids. As you can see, that's them at the starting line getting ready to take off. And this year, through the support of the health department, we were able to offer 130 scholarships to make sure all children were able to participate. So that was something that was really exciting for us.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. This is the Big Red Barn.
I love this exhibit.
Yeah, so do I. This is a popular exhibit for toddlers. Melissa also has a toddler, so I'm sure she's familiar with this exhibit.
It's based on the book, The Big Red Barn. You can see the cow, her name, that's Milky the cow. It's one of the most popular elements of the exhibition. You can actually milk her in the barn. You can turn it from day till night. And at the same time you're doing this, you laugh, and it is fun, but for that age group, you're learning a lot about counting,
Certainly are.
sorting, colors, matching, farm animals, and nature. So you're learning a lot of things, but laughing and having a lot of fun too.
And the cow is jumping over the moon in the artwork.
Yes,
in the
it's
backdrop
beautiful
behind
artwork,
there.
and learning by doing, for sure. And everything is sized just for those 4 and under, very soft, and just gives them an area where they can have their own space and not be overwhelmed by older kids who are
That's great.
bigger and louder.
I really like the cow.
This is the crane exhibit. This is a really fun one. With the facilitation of one of our staff members, children work together to create historic buildings, and we rotate those buildings out. You can see the pyramid here. Right now we have the Capitol and the White House. So you're learning about a different historic building. We did the churches of Lynchburg once, but also learning about construction and physics. And it's a physical and mental challenge as well. It takes a lot of concentration and it takes teamwork. So that's a really popular exhibition. And it's fun too because we have, unlike a lot of places, our staff actually facilitates any of the exhibits and interacts with our guests. And so it makes sure that every experience is different, is unique, and that the children are really learning what we're intending them to learn.
This is my favorite.
Indian Island. And this is what you see here in this photograph is one of our staff members facilitating a school program. We have school programs that go along with all of the Virginia SOLs. They are based in that to be a resource for teachers and to reinforce the SOLs. The idea is that if the students are learning the SOLs in their classrooms, when they come for their field trip to Amazement Square and engage in one of these programs, they're actually getting reinforced concepts that they've already learned. And so it's another way to learn by doing and also help the teachers in our area who work very hard to make sure those SOLs are reached. Indian Island here, you see them going through the day in the life of how they produce their food and what part of the region did they live in and how did they actually live on a daily basis.
For people who don't know what an SOL is, would you just
Oh yeah,
tell them?
the Virginia Standards of Learning.
Right. Okay. You know, you had mentioned that this is a 501c3, but you do charge admission. And, you know, to me that makes sense because you are trying to maintain these exhibits. What is the general admission for people who might be interested in going?
General admission is $8 for adults. For children under 2, it's free, and we have a special senior rate as well.
Oh, that's great.
And for families that are able to visit on a more regular basis, we have memberships that start at $90 and vary a little bit based on the size of the family, but that's a very good value for families who are able to come 3 or 4 times a year.
That's great. But now, how are you funded generally? Is it, do you get a lot of donations?
Our admission, other earned income, such as memberships and birthday parties, makes up slightly less than half of our annual operating budget, and then we have to earn the rest of it through individual donations, corporate, and grants. So the reason that we do charge admission is to maintain that historic building, all floors of exhibits, and we want to keep the admission affordable for everybody. We feel like for that $8, it's all-day admission. You can come, stay all day and play. You can leave, have lunch. We have an outdoor plaza, come back in and play, all for under the cost of a movie. So we try to keep it affordable to everybody while at the same time doing lots of programs that reach those most at risk.
A friend of mine asked me when I was getting ready to go to your reception about prices. He has 3 small children. I think his oldest one's 8. And he said, every time I take these 3 kids someplace, it's $20 for each one of us. And he said, and it's nothing like what you're telling me. So, I hope that that's...
We try to provide a good value, an all-day experience, and the whole family can enjoy it together all day. So we try to provide a lot of quality and a lot of value and a lot of learning. And we try to work with families and groups that can't afford to come to make it possible for them to come.
What is your sponsored admission program? I thought that was really interesting.
Our sponsored admission and outreach program reaches about 10,000 people per year. There's a couple different components of that. One is the Family Fun Night that I mentioned, where admission is $3 or pay what you can. So any individuals that feel our admission price is too high, this is a great night for them to come. We also work with schools and nonprofit groups to give those school programs at a reduced rate. And we also work with nonprofits and other groups to provide free or reduced admission different programs and events. So also pays to take our staff out into the community. There's a lot of groups that can't come here. So that's our outreach program.
Do you have special holiday events planned, like for Thanksgiving and Christmas? I want to get back to Halloween in a minute, but...
We do. We actually, nothing really for Thanksgiving, except twice a month we have Saturday programs, which are free with the cost of admission. They usually approach a seasonal theme or our year-long fun and fit theme for this year. The one at Thanksgiving, I think, tailors around being thankful, and I think it's called Healthy Giving. And so we're actually going to put together some gift boxes or care packages to provide to another organization. And then Black Friday, we're going to kind of celebrate, and since everybody will be out and about, we've decided to extend our hours and give families who have out-of-town guests someplace to go. So we're going to open our doors at 9 a.m. and stay open till 7 p.m. So the museum will be open all day. Our gift shop, which is our kids' warehouse, will be open as well, and is a great place to get unique gifts for all ages.
Now this, on Halloween, I'm still a little confused about the ugly bug ball and the hisses and bugs and hisses. All right, so the ugly bug ball, that's primarily for children, is that right?
The ugly bug ball is actually for the adults.
Okay, all right.
That's okay, you were close. It's a 50-50 chance.
I was going to say it had to be one or the other.
The ugly bug ball is our fundraiser, and it is celebrating its 12th year. So it has been in existence as long as the doors have been open. And it is our fundraiser to raise money to support our sponsored admission and outreach programs. All the funds and proceeds raised at this event go to support those 2 programs. So it is adults only, 21 and over, as I mentioned, full band and bar and catered dinner and silent and live auction. We have some pretty amazing items to auction off this year. The Bugs and Hisses Ball is for children, and it is on October 31st. And it's predominantly geared towards people looking for an alternative to trick-or-treating, or looking for something to do with their kids where they can be in costume and dress up and maybe have a little bit of an educational component. We have some great spooky science experiments ready to go, and the whole museum will be open. So it's a $5 admission rate to come in, enjoy the Halloween costume party contest.
Wonderful.
And enjoy the museum.
Hard as it is to believe, we've only got about 4 more minutes.
Okay.
But I want specifically to ask you about your capital campaign that you've got going on right now to enlarge the facility.
That's right. We're out of space, which I guess is a good problem to have, but the museum was originally designed to serve about 45,000 people per year, and we're now serving about 90,000 people per year. Most of our space is exhibit space. We don't have a lot of classrooms or meeting space or programmatic space. So our goal is to turn the warehouse adjacent to the museum into an education center. Our current museum is 29,000 square feet, and this warehouse is going to add 17,000 square feet. It'll have 5 classrooms and a very large flexible gallery space where you can do exhibitions, community performances, children's theater. I think it can really be a resource for a lot of cultural and educational groups in our community to use that space. And so we're going to be able to serve more children, meet the demand for school programs, and offer a lot more things that we don't have the space for right now. So we're really excited and we're working hard towards making that happen.
I think that's, I just think that's wonderful. And that certainly will fall in your capacity as a marketing person.
Absolutely, yeah. We're just about ready to kind of go public with our campaign. We're still in what we consider the silent phase, where we haven't really established a grand opening date. But as soon as we're ready to break that ground, you will see me as much as possible.
So our audience is hearing that first, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Great. All right, I thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
I wish we had more time, but we're going to do this second segment on this. So thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. Please tune in next week for part 2 of our focus on Amazement Square. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.